Last orders at the bar.
It's over bar. A night in with Mauler and the drinker, getting trashed with the web screen thinkers. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop off the cork, have a glass of wine. That's they'll say, it'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, Mauler and the critical drinker.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the
Hello.
wonderful world of Last Orders. And welcome to our new background as well. One of my subscribers was kind enough to do me a hand-drawn piece of art here. I'm sorry that our faces are kind of blocking out some of it, but to describe it best to you, gigantic Mauler is ranting at me and explaining why I'm wrong about everything in the background there. So.
Or I'm drunk too. We're probably both quite drunk. The whole concept of Out of Last Orders is everyone left and we made sure to finish all their drinks.
Yeah. Well, there's some broken bottles and stuff lying in the background, so it's all good stuff. I like it. So yeah, many thanks to him. I had his name jotted down here actually, and I seem to have misplaced it, so apologies. But I'll credit you on the description. So anyway, welcome to our listeners for this. This is open bar number 111, all the ones. And we're going to do last orders for the super chats that we couldn't do on the night. So I'm going to just dive right into it here and say, Sticky Fingered Bandit, who sent us this. There was such a fear around the first Joker movie, they posted police at multiple movie theaters here in Seattle in lieu of the Aurora debacle from The Dark Knight. Don't think that'll be a problem. That came to absolutely nothing in the end. And I don't know, do you think that probably helped the movie to stir up controversy like that?
Maybe. I guess so. It's that weird one because I think maybe a lot of people did end up seeing it because of that, as opposed to they would have just not cared at all. Like, oh, this is the movie that makes people kill each other or something. Like I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I mean, I don't want to take away from the fact that the film had really good word of mouth too. Just people being like, this film is not cringe. Go see it.
Yeah. Well, it all helped, I suppose. And yeah, ultimately, I don't think that's going to be an issue with this one. It's something very different, I suppose. Yosarian88 says, in Rings of Power series, the elves are rapidly declining and it's clear they will need to leave Middle-earth soon. Why would Sauron bother helping them rather than wait out their decline and exit? The books had this laid out properly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think... I guess the show would imply that they need Celebrimbor at least for his ring-making knowledge, because the rings are the mechanism by which Sauron is going to dominate not just elves, because even if they leave, there's still the dwarves and especially men to deal with. And this is the way he's going to do it. So I guess that's the reason, but it's a bit weak, I suppose. And yeah. If the elves are your biggest threat, maybe just let them leave, and then you can figure out the ring-making technology yourself, even if it takes quite a while.
I don't know what he hasn't figured out. What does Celebrimbor do in this show that is so important to these rings?
He just pours molten metal into things. Yeah. I don't know if he even does that, actually. He just kind of stands in the background and watches.
It's genuinely a shame, because it's hard to, I think, translate to a lot of average viewers, like the craftsmanship involved in all kinds of different sectors of life, and it's like this would be an opportunity to try and show why Celebrimbor is so impressive, to do stuff that, even to explain it in like a layman's terms, but we never see him fucking doing much of anything.
No, he just
talking.
He just looks worried sometimes. That's about it. Austin Ewer says Casablanca or Citizen Kane. There we go. It's a battle of the classics. If I had to pick, I would probably pick Citizen Kane, just based on the Orson Welles' performance, and I quite like the coda to it as well. You know, I know it's like an absolute cliche that's been done to death at this point, but the revelation about Rosebud and what it is, I think that ties up the narrative of the film quite nicely. I like that.
Yeah, I'd say I find Kane's story to be more meaningful for me personally, but if I was to be asked, like, which is the better made film, I'd be like, we're into, they're both fantastic, so yeah, very hard to say.
J-Boy is knackered says, for me as a prequel era kid, I'd like to see old stuff with better visuals and better gameplay, but sadly, by and large, all I've got is utter shite. I'm not sure what
we'd all fucking love better visuals and better gameplay. If it's all about just games in general.
Yeah. It's funny, like I made a video about this, and like it kind of came up when we were playing Space Marine 2 earlier on my gaming channel. People pointing out, like, okay, we got the PS5 Pro on the way, where it's going to do all these like fancy new things like ray tracing and stuff. It's going to be like 50% more efficient and stuff. But I'm kind of thinking to myself, and I don't know how you feel about this, gaming technology has reached the point where any improvements that you see to the visuals are so like incremental now that it's almost not worth it. You know, it looks, if you get a properly well-made game with, you know, that really makes the most out of the hardware, it looks fantastic. And I don't necessarily need another massive, you know, hardware upgrade to get marginally higher resolution or marginally better shadow effects or whatever. I think I'd rather they'd put more effort into just better gameplay experiences rather than trying to pump more effort into graphics.
It feels as though there's a story of how the industries fail in different ways for different sectors, and with gaming, man, like, I don't know, it just feels like we've not made any technological innovations for mechanics in forever. That just like stopped happening. Graphics, yeah, sure. I've like got fucking realistic graphics fatigue. When I see amazing realistic graphics, I'm like, all right, there they are. Anyway, you know, like, and you know that they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't just like skip over that. Isn't that amazing? I'm like, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's like, that's the thing. Like, yeah, there's occasional moments in games where I'll just stop and look at the world that they've created. And it's like, yep, that is genuinely impressive. Well done there. But like, that's not the thing that drives me to keep playing. It's like, I'm playing it because I care about the characters, or I care about where the story's going next, or I just want the next moment-to-moment gameplay experience, like the next shootout or action scene or whatever.
In Star Wars Outlaws, there is an arcade where you can play a game where there are 3 tracks, you're a car, and you've got blocks coming in with collectibles coming in, and you've got to dodge the blocks and grab the collectibles. And there's high scores you can get and stuff. And I was playing it for a little bit. I was just like, fuck, this is more of a video game than the whole of Outlaws. Like,
I'm having more fun playing the game within a game.
Yeah. There was like a memory puzzle of they put, you know, a thing under 5 things and move all the 5 things around. It's like, which one's the thing? And I won that. And I was like, oh, can I just play these? Like all these little arcade games, they're actual, like, there's gaming sensibilities behind these.
I always find it weird when they put entertainment within games.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like when you're playing GTA 5 or something. It's like you can be in your apartment, like watching TV for ages, and then you have this moment of crazy realization where it's like, holy shit, I'm in a game watching myself watch TV. Like, what the hell is wrong with me?
That's innovation right there. It's the future. One day, once we get VR, we'll be simulated playing life. And it's like, I could just live life. It's like, no.
The only thing is there's no like respawning in life, so...
Well, it reminds me of the truck simulator people who play the fuck out of that forever, like the insane amount of hours people who just, they play as a truck driving across America or something, or Europe, and it's like, you know, you can actually get this job. And then it gets to a point where I'm like, I wonder if in the future they will try and make use of that. It's like, we've got 1,000 players who are constantly doing these video games. Can we somehow plug it such that they remote control like trucks in actual real life? Like, because we gotta find a way to harness this autism.
Did you watch Gran Turismo? I think it came out last year.
No, I watched a review on it though.
Yeah, well, I mean, so you'll know the story. I mean, and it's based on a real thing where it's like they picked the best GTA players from around the world and actually gave them a chance to become racing drivers, and one of them was actually really fucking good. And it's like, well, taking it to its logical conclusion, I suppose, just see video games as a driving simulator.
It's David Harbour and someone else.
Yes, I only remember David Harbour being like the main actor.
Yeah,
like the big, I guess the big name that was in it. But it was a decent little movie. Actually, I quite enjoyed it.
It's probably one of the ones that scores one of the highest for video game adaptations, I'm guessing, compared to how bad it can be. You know?
Yeah, I think so. I think it did okay. What's the next one? Pygmy Splints. Are you all going to be playing Space Marine 2? It's a pretty good baby step into the lore for you lot. Death to the False Emperor. Ave Dominus Nox. Yes, well, funny you should mention that. I was literally just playing it before we started recording here. And it's been lots of fun.
Maybe for me at some point. My time is stretched thin.
I mean, Mauler, you can form a squad with your friends and do PvE. Just saying. Az has played it. I've played it. There's you.
I won't be able to resist if we try and set something like that up.
I think we should. I think we owe it to ourselves. And we owe it to the Emperor, in fact, to do this. So
yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
He is. He doesn't get around much these days, but, he was fine in his day. Yeah, stay tuned for that. Red Invader says, happy 12th day of Chris Score's birthday month. Okay, sure.
All right.
It's his birthday month. Zed, hello to the amazing panel. Today is the birthday of your favorite act beast. Sorry, I meant actress, Sydney Sweeney. Let's celebrate. I mean, yeah, I'm always happy.
I saw a tweet and I was like, is this just trolling or is this real? It's like, there's a movie upcoming with Sydney Sweeney and Ana de Armas where they are in a threesome together. I was like, what?
That is got to be. I mean, I get that it'll probably have something along those lines, but it'll be trolling the idea that you're going to see them topless and stuff and getting on.
I just love the idea of a director that's like, right, you two, I want to see you fuck.
Yep.
So let's go. Here's the script, and they're like, good enough. Let's go.
I feel like Sydney Sweeney would be up for it. She'd be like, yeah, sure, give it a go.
She does seem very. I wonder if, in 10 years' time, she'll be like, I hated it, or was exploited, that sort of thing.
Possibly. That seems to be the arc, isn't it? It's the character arc for Hollywood actresses. It's like exploit it until you can't really anymore when you're starting to age out of it, and then claim that it was all misogyny and you were pressured into it, and then
truly
try and rebrand yourself. Scarlett Johansson's gone down that road now. Sad.
How many, women are there who are more just like, it was really fun and I enjoyed it and now I'm old, so that's that. A lot of guys seem to do it with action. A lot of times they're just like, I'm just too old to be the action star that I was, even though I really, really want to be. But that's that, age.
I think so. I mean, I think for actresses, especially when it's like kind of sexual exploitation, for lack of a better word.
Well, if it is, that's bad, right? If it gets to a point where they're almost abused / coerced, whatever have you, versus, because what we would prefer obviously is that here's the job, there's nothing untoward about it, it's about the story, we're trying to create entertainment. Are you interested? Yes, I am. Filmed it very professionally, done and done. You know what I mean? Like that versus something horrible, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, sure. I mean, there's, I guess, when you talk about sexual exploitation, it's like, well, potentially the actress themselves could choose to exploit their sexuality, and their attractiveness for views. And I don't know. I get the feeling that Sydney Sweeney is quite aware of why people find her appealing, and it's not necessarily for her acting ability, but she's happy to lean into that sort of sensual.
If she gets the acting down, she's gonna be super into
if she ever figures out how to act, she is going to be a real threat in Hollywood. But as it stands, I think she's happy to just make use of that, and why not? If she chooses to do it, that is up to her. But yeah, like I say, I think it's more of a generational thing where maybe you had actresses who were around in the 70s, 80s who did that stuff and aged out of it. But I think they probably understood the game a lot better than they do nowadays. Whereas you get people like Scarlett Johansson who suddenly 40s on the horizon, and then they start claiming oh yes, I was never comfortable with this stuff, and I hate how my early roles sexualize me. It's like, you didn't seem to have a problem with it at the time. It kind of feels like you're just playing the game.
Eternal. Is it not one of the core rules of humanity that sex sells might be the number one of just, you ain't escaping that. That's just reality. So it's because you could put whatever veneer you want on it, but ultimately human drives are human drives, and I don't know. Guys see hot women in scanty clothing, they're gonna be attracted to that. And they're going to want to see movies that have that in it. And by the same token, women aren't immune to this either. There's a reason that so many superheroes in the Marvel movies go shirtless
to
Yeah,
show
of
off all
course.
that time at the gym. Like, well, it pleases women.
Look,
I'm
dude,
sure.
Deadpool Wolverine. It's like we're not going to be seeing any anything for women in that, even though Deadpool 1 and 2 did. But we will
Yeah.
see Hugh Jackman a lot. Which
Yeah. I think that's
for the
Ryan
record,
Reynolds' fetish for him.
for the record, every time this comes up, it's like I'm fine with it. I just wish that we do it with women as well. That's all.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't even know what the original question was there, but we got talking about
Hopefully
Sydney
that
Sweeney,
answered
and
it somehow.
I'm lost. Jeremy Soden says recently bought Aliens Expanded after watching Drinker's interview with William Hope. Great interview. Looking forward to watching the documentary. Yeah, William Hope was a really nice guy to talk to. Very interesting. He had some really good insights into the process of making Aliens, and yeah, the Aliens Expanded documentary is there for people to check out. So give it a look. It's about as in depth as you're going to get with that movie. Andy Whelan. With the failures of recent message-based IPs to the extent of recent rejection, do you think companies are starting to look at hiring talent again rather than matching a checklist as they have been? Yes, from what I've heard, a lot of people in Hollywood, a lot of studios are taking a scythe to their DEI departments and their quotas and all of this stuff. I think they are cleaning house in a lot of cases because they know the damage it's caused. But it takes time for that to filter through to the production side of things. Because as we've said before, there's movies coming out now that were commissioned 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, they are very aware of the problem now, I think, and they're trying to course correct, which is nice to see. Cannon Falderaw. There's a reason I've been to the cinema an average of 2 to 3 times a month this year, but only seen 3 to 4 new releases. Classics for the win. Cheers. Yeah, I mean, it's nice when cinemas do that, when they put classic movies on again that you never got a chance to see originally. It's good stuff,
Shouldn't
and I
that just
don't believe
be-
people.
Maybe it's not profitable enough, but should that just not be a constant? Like every cinema should have a classic movies rotation or something.
Yeah, I guess in quieter times of the year, because I get the impression like,
Yeah, I guess.
August is a dump month. September is pretty quiet as well. October, November is when you start getting to like the awards season, the Oscar bait stuff. But like right now is a good time to release classics because it's just quiet. Like the summer movie season's kind of over. And yeah, why not do it? That's why I kind of like these. You get these little like art house cinemas and stuff that are like just one screen. And they'll screen all the classic movies and things, and they're usually quite expensive to get into, but it's worth it for just a different experience. I like that.
Yeah.
Just I wish we got to see more of it. Sorry, I was just pouring myself a drink there. There was one thing I got to do once, because one of my friends actually used to manage a local Odeon cinema up here, and they were testing out like letting you play PlayStation games on a cinema screen, and they're like, "Would you mind coming in and giving it a go?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" So
I remember you mentioned this before. Yeah, it just started. Awesome.
It is so fucking cool. Like I've never experienced anything like that before. But I don't know. In terms of immersion, like it doesn't get much more intense than that. Playing a PlayStation on a cinema screen, it's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cuban says, "Thanks, Mauler and Drinker, for getting me through a rough week. Needed a laugh yesterday and went for the classic EFAP gaming Colonial Marines playthrough, specifically Rags versus the F is not a flashlight, lol."
Yeah, so man, that was like 7 years ago or something. But we played Colonial. Was it Colonial Marines at the time? I guess it was. Yeah. Because there's so many Alien games now. But he was trying to figure out how to turn his flashlight on, and he pressed F, which is grenade launcher, and he just blew himself up, which is really funny. There's so many little highlights in that game. It was a disaster, but in the best way.
The best kind, yeah. The Special Edwards says, "If any world or setting you could think of got a movie or show, what would it be and who would you make it? For me, it's Keenan Taylor's Tales of a Chimere show being produced by Gennady, I never say his name, Tartakovsky, yeah. Bro, don't miss. Okay, I don't know. Any world or setting that you'd like to get turned into a movie?
I wonder if, given a hyper budget, and this is not because I think it's gonna be profitable, I just want it. So a hyper budget, I'm talking 300 million, maybe more, to Mike Flanagan to make a BioShock full Rapture thing.
Ooh,
Just
you're
give
talking.
him all the time in the world to make the set would be just pure glory, and he give him a time to just write out all of the world and the people and use as much of the game as possible, please, obviously, and just that would be, I would very much enjoy seeing that. I would even accept a TV series, right? You can make that work as well.
I think so, yeah. No, that's actually a pretty good suggestion. Yeah, I'd like to see Mike Flanagan do more movies and things like that. I'm actually rewatching Haunting of Hill House just at the moment.
Episode 6, man. Oh my gosh, fucking goated. We should have talked about that on I think we started.
Which one is episode?
That's the Twin Storms one where we cycle through back and forth with a storm in the house when they were kids and a storm while they're at the funeral.
Oh god, yeah, that's where it's like continuous takes that last like 10 minutes.
It's genuinely one of the best episodes of television in existence. It's like, and not just because of that, the performances in it are fucking amazing. The writing is top notch, and yes, the editing and the cinematography are so fucking good.
When because I know it's almost like a gimmick when shows and movies do things like that, but like to actually make it work, the amount of effort that the actors have to put in, the amount of coordination, the amount of concentration it must take to make that work, brilliant. Yeah, I really like it. Noah Sprague Studios says Gen Z's responsibility now is to create the next big thing for the next generation that isn't Skibbity Toilet. Well, good luck to them, I think, because millennials seem to have fucking failed.
Skibbity Toilet.
It's just, I don't know, man. Like, I guess some of it comes down to just studios being unwilling to invest in new properties and unproven ideas and stuff. Like, they'd rather just go for the safe bet of, like, resurrecting old franchises. But, man, I think people are going to look back on this time as just, like, the point where we lost all imagination and just kept doing the same shit over and over again.
I mean, it's just what you say. We look back at it. It's like they'll look back on how we looked at it that way at the time. You know, because like people are not happy, generally speaking, with the state of media versus other eras right now.
I mean, I suppose, yeah. At least that's
what I'm saying is
like
it's so bad that like it didn't even need to age. It's just something that we're all like, ugh.
Yeah. But it's good at least that people are aware that there's a problem, and it's not like everyone's kind of like mindlessly consuming it and just going, "This is amazing," and there's only like a few people who are calling it out.
Mm-hmm.
KGB Dog says, "What's the panel's opinion of fanfic as a form of media?" Also, please shout out to Timeless Academia by Mad Krona and the Wormhole Chronicles by General Rage. There you go. Shout out confirmed. So fanfic. What do we think about it? I personally like it. I like the idea of it.
Cool, yeah.
And I think fanfic can often lead to, I guess, more advanced writing that can eventually just give you new authors. You know, essentially, because a lot of authors can cut their teeth in the somewhat safe confines of doing fanfic, where you've got like a pre-established world to work with. So you've got a little bit of a crutch to get started with. Presumably, if you're good, you can like improve your ideas and your creative process to the point where, you don't need that crutch anymore, and you're just creating your own new worlds and new characters. So, yeah, I like that idea. I like what it can create.
It just seems like an easy format for expression that can lead someone into bigger and better things. Like I would probably always want to direct somebody to be like, "Hey, make your own original thing." But if it gets them in the door, then so be it. And plenty of great things can come from that as a start. So,
yeah. Purple Thigh says, how can you review a film when you haven't seen it? Well, you can. I mean, you can't review it. You can offer up your predictions on how you think it's going to be, which we do often. Whether it's like you watch the trailer, you know a little bit about the production history behind the film, and you can then, I guess, based on past experience, make a prediction on how successful you think it's going to be creatively and, financially. And we do it. And a lot of the time we are right, which is, it's interesting. Anthony Butler says, Drinker, how do you ultimately feel about Terminator Zero? Misaki, when activated, he said, I wouldn't want to be a man. Men are responsible for destruction. I want to be a woman, the givers of life. I was out. Another pander to woke. I don't know, man. I don't see that as being like woke. That, in general terms, that's an expression of reality. That men tend to be the ones who do the whole war thing. You know, that tends to be our thing if we need to. Women are generally the ones who give birth, and they are the nurturers. They are the creators of life. That's not woke. That's just reality. That's what the genders do. And overall, I didn't get the impression that the show was trying to lecture me too much. I didn't feel like it was trying to shit on men or anything necessarily. There's good male characters. There's good female characters. It's a fairly balanced show, and I didn't have an issue with any of that.
You know, if you can read into a lot of things in a lot of different ways, and I just don't know sometimes if this is a viable sort of POV when you can sort of flip it around. Like, imagine some feminist came along and said the show is terrible because the main male character is lecturing an intelligent woman in the form of Kuroko, right, the AI, on why she should make any given decision because she's not smart enough to make it herself. Like, if someone said that like, you make a super intelligent woman and she's still beholden to a man, it's disgusting, like propaganda. I just feel like, oh my god, you know, like you can. I just think you could push and pull in a lot of ways. Terminator Zero's problems really to me weren't at all that it was preachy. It was just there's just too many standard writing problems, I think, for me.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that. But yeah, I guess my take on it is that I didn't get the impression that it was a woke product, for lack of a better description. I didn't feel like it was trying to make me feel shit for being a guy or anything. And you know, I think having a sort of female-centric story in the Terminator universe isn't exactly a new concept. Like that's kind of what most of the original movies did. Same with the Alien franchise. Like it's almost always a female lead. So
I mean, you know, I wouldn't have, coming away from the show, I wouldn't have said she was the lead. I would have said it was the guy, the dad. More so.
I was torn on this one. I really was, because I was like, I think I could apply this to a few different characters. I feel like the woman from the future. I don't know why I've forgotten her name off the top of my head, but yeah, I feel like she's nominally the protagonist, but then the narrative sometimes switches over to like, who's the android, like her helper, who's like looking after the kids.
Yes, who we get big reveals on as well.
Yeah, who becomes like more and more important as the story progresses. You could probably make the argument that she's the protagonist, but then you've got the kids as well. There's a good sort of division there. I think he is the exposition point, and he's like the
well, like, yeah, like I really wanted to like him more. I felt like he didn't do a good job of defending humanity very much in the show. I felt like he should have been given more. Like, I get that his life experience is that of humanity is destructive and everything, and so he's like trying not to. He wants to level with the AI instead of trying to trick it or anything. But I think you can still do a very heartfelt, easy defense and point out some fucking backwards logic with robots. We kind of talked about this the last time this came up, but I find it kind of boring at this point when an AI says, you know, humans, you're like a cancer. You approach a planet, you dry up the resources, you multiply, and then you destroy yourselves as well as the place.
Yeah.
Like, the fucking Agent Smith speech. I'm like, that was interesting to me when I was 10, but at this point I need characters to be more adult and be like, what do you mean, like life? Like, that's just how it works. Everything runs in cycles. Everything all over this planet evolved to survive. The idea that we're like ultimately destructive is almost boring. And then you have to address the fact that we created the AI, and the AI is like, yeah, well, you suck. And it's like, we fucking made you, bitch. Our programming made you conclude this. How do you reconcile that?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's because I always get interested by stories, the AI, you know, the singularity where the AI is smart enough to make a better AI, to make a better AI, to make a better AI, and then they just boom and they've become, you know, the god machine sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah, I mean, I think I miss movies that have a more positive view of humanity, I suppose.
Yeah.
And the same thing applies to Rings of Power. And I think it harkens back to the sort of comparisons with the Lord of the Rings movies, where, and I was talking with Platoon about this the other night on his stream. I would really just love a fantasy show like that when it makes the comparison between elves and men, for example, like elves being these immortal creatures that don't have to concern themselves with aging and so on, and they're so immensely wise because of all their experiences. Be nice to say, well, there's a nice counterpoint to that in that humans, because of our limited lifespan and the fact that we, we're always haunted by our mortality, it's what drives us to create and build and invent and better ourselves, to try to strive to be something better, because we only have so much time to make our mark on the world. And I think there's something inherently quite noble about that and quite interesting. Not just to say like, hey, humanity is just a fucking disease and it's wiping out all these other species. And
I get bored of that. Especially, I do hate in sci-fi or fantasy stuff where the human race is kind of the one that gets shit on a lot, but they're the protagonist and they're the plucky underdog and they'll make it. But way prefer it when alien races recognize, even if they're better, or fantasy races that are just superior like elves, that, as humans, like, I like it when they give us an aspect that's unique to us, something like conviction or
bravery or something. Like,
there's something about them, those humans, they just never give up. They'll always, and I feel like Lord of the Rings achieves this very well. And I like that Lord of the Rings even does it with the hobbits. Like, they're considered lower somewhat in the universe than humans are, but by the end of the film, they're like, even the, it's allegory, right? Even the lowest of the lowliest can matter more than anyone else. It's up to you to make the choice,
Yeah. And I don't know, it'd just be nice to to get that balance and recognize, hey, humans aren't all horrible. There's something actually quite good in humanity. Maybe we don't always realize it and we don't always realize our potential, but it's there. Give us something to aspire to. On the flip side of that, Albert Nado Retro says, I would wipe Taika Waititi from existence. Okay.
Well, he just Time Bandits got killed, right? Recently.
Yeah. There was a tweet going around actually that I shared because, I found it rather intriguing, was that I don't think I've ever seen a guy burn through goodwill as quickly as this dude. And it was Taika Waititi. And it's like, yep, you're absolutely right.
Then again, I feel like him and Zack Snyder are racing somewhat.
Yeah.
Tiger's probably winning. It's just Snyder's right behind him. Get that Rebel Moon 3, let's go.
Yeah. Bungles Twanger says, I'm in the USA, but the only place I can pre-order the Blake 7 Blu-ray complete series is Amazon UK. Will it be region locked? I have no fucking idea. Sorry, man, I don't work for Amazon. Chrome Job says, James Bond after Casino Royale. Okay. John Thomas. Jar Jar Abrams started all of it in 2009. His movie was an abomination. That'll be Star Trek then. Yes, it was shit. Mr. In Between says, please can you review Mr. In Between? I'm sure you'll love it. Some of the best writing the main actor writes every episode. Tarantino-esque. I would if I have the chance. Just got to get some time to watch it. Downsturm says, didn't know you guys were buddies with Craig Mazin, a.k.a. the Angry Badger. He looks just like him. Well, yeah, we'll have to ask him about that. Noah Sprague Studios. I would say that Columbo is a franchise that has been untouched, but they have been rumored to reboot with Mark Ruffalo. Fuck. I just hate modern actors. Especially like Mark Ruffalo. Fucking idiot.
There seems to be a difference, because for anybody who's just like, oh, just because you don't like, he's like an idiot online or whatever. So it's a little bit more than that. I think there are some actors who are idiots online who I still respect their acting more. Mark Ruffalo has just been a long time since I've seen him in a scene where I go, oh wow, like he really gave a good performance there. It feels like he's sort of just around all the time.
Yeah, because if I shit on him, everyone is like, oh, he was amazing in Zodiac, and it's like, well, yeah, okay, Zodiac was 15 years ago.
Yeah, I was about to say that's fucking ages ago.
Yeah, what's he done recently? And it's like, yeah, he's actually, I don't know if Marvel ruined him or something, but like, God, he's fucking annoying in terms of his performance. He's got this weird monotone voice. He's not particularly expressive. Doesn't have a great range. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know why he's still a Theo. Jack White says, I make admittedly low quality comics on Webtoon, and the things that are popular there don't instill confidence that my generation has an interest in good entertainment. My username is Wumbo Jack. I mean, show it to them and they'll appreciate it. It's just they've got to see it first. They might, if they know nothing better than shit entertainment, then that's what they'll accept. John the Man Good says, Drinker, you need to watch the We Need to Talk About Concord video from Sungrad Studios. If not an open bar, at least on last rounds. That right there is a whole discussion in itself. Oh, okay. We need
I'm out
to
of the
talk
loop on
about
Concord.
Concord.
Outlaw is my that's the one I know about.
That is your ecstasy right now. Drake Timbershaft. Amanda Stenberg as Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
You probably would. That could happen.
Yeah. I wonder what she's going to go on to do after The Acolyte.
Hopefully, she's a part of something that doesn't draw such bigotry.
Yes, indeed. Because that's the only reason. Single Guy Cooking says, was the X-Files ruined? I lost interest pre-movie. I mean, it definitely ran out of ideas towards the end, I'll say that much. The early seasons were by far the best. I remember like mid-90s just like tuning in every week for the X-Files, and it was great. But yeah, it definitely lost its way. Retro Mando says, mark my words, an orc will turn good and help Galadriel. Adar is going to do something, man. He's going to form an alliance with her.
It's funny because a lot of you fat were breaking it down. I think Metal at one point said, what's the deal with like how much have they fucked up Adar from the source? Which because I'm not as familiar, but I was just laughing because I was waiting for one of them to tell him.
Yeah.
What was Adar like in where they've drawn him from? You're like, that's a great question.
That is. Is there a potential that Adar could be unmasked as Celeborn?
Do you think they do that?
It's that level of retardation where I'm like, I was your husband all along, but I got like separate. I got kidnapped and mutilated and stuff, and then he has to get healed later. I don't know. It just seems like the kind of stupid shit they would do with a show like this, because we know Celeborn is alive because he obviously has to be, and she's like, oh, he died in a battle somewhere, and like, okay, where is he? He's going to show up somehow, somewhere, and it just feels like this could be the way they do it. And I'm scared that that's what they're going to do.
We'll see.
Civi Vortak. I'm a fan of Sanderson's Cosmere and would love to see it come to the screen, but it failed to get started last year, and I'm glad. I prefer for culture to shift back to reasonably before they start it. Sorry, reasonability. I think that's probably a good idea. Yeah. Wait a couple of years. Wait for Hollywood to get back to like good filmmaking, and then we can do stuff like this. Jay Nemo says, Chris may have the best insight into this. How much of the problems can be traced back to the growth of the power and influence of the Hollywood unions? Large unions tend to track with stagnation. I mean, I don't know exactly the level of influence that they have at this point, but it kind of feels like, if anything, union power probably declines over time. I imagine in like the 60s and 70s, they were super influential in Hollywood. Maybe as time passes, the money gets more and more extreme, and the studios have more control. Maybe the unions don't have as much, but there's certainly been plenty of strikes, obviously, over the past couple of years. I think it's more likely to just be ideology and the creatives that they bring in rather than unions themselves that are the problem. I'm just guessing there a little bit. Krigla says, if in a masculine role, the main character is a guy, I want him to be a cool dude that I'd want to be. If it's a woman, I want her to be a cool babe I'd want to bang. It's that easy. I know. Good formula. Let's go with it. Darth Maul's lower half says, from the moment that Lucasfilm announced JJ as director, I knew the movies would be shit. I had seen his Trek movies, weird storylines, no concept of time and space, and lots of mystery boxes. Yep. Well, if anyone's been unmasked as a fucking charlatan, it's been JJ Abrams over the past few years. Black Kane says, what do you think of the theory that Martin found an unpublished manuscript for the first few books and now he's having to actually write and he can't? I don't think that's I don't think that's it. I think he's just got poor impulse control. He allowed the story to grow way beyond his ability to close it up. And now he's old and fat and lazy, and he just doesn't have the creative drive to get it finished. That's ultimately all it's come down to. It's the banality of these people. You know, it's just human nature ultimately. The Mighty Strike says Martin will never finish it because his true ending will totally contradict the shit show of the TV series. Thanks, Dan and Dave. I don't think so. I think they knew what his ending was going to be. I think he would have shared his notes with them so that they would have at least some guidelines to go by. I think perhaps that's part of the problem. He knows how shit the TV show ended, how much people disliked it, and he's trying to think of something better, and he can't. I mean, do you have a thought on that, Muller? Do you think they knew how he wanted to end the books and they tried to replicate that in the show? They just rushed it? Or do you think they went off their own path?
The common story would be that he gave them bullet points. They didn't do a good job of setting it up. Like Gary said over and over again, that you should not expect anyone other than who ends up on the throne to end up on the throne in the books. And for Danny to go crazy, these are all things that are very likely where George is going. It's just that what logic he's going to use or how it, comes down to it in the story. You know what? The funny thing is, it could have been 1-to-1 exactly as he intended, and then he was like, "Oh shit, people hated that." Okay, that's interesting. Or it could be that he hadn't written anything, just at all.
Yeah,
and he's too terrified to make the book at this point, or maybe he just hates the world of like, not necessarily the world of Song of Ice and Fire, but like certainly that story. He's so done with working on it or something. We're all looking for ways to explain this because what he's done is kind of insane.
Yeah, I always just tend to default to the simplest explanation. He's just lazy and he's lost the thread of his story. It absolutely happens to writers, and they do not get better with age. Trust me on that one. Albert Nada Retro. If I was writing Game of Thrones, the White Walkers would have won the whole thing. I'm with you on that one. Simon Ho, we should just take George's train set away and lock him in his room and tell him he won't get it back until he finishes writing his homework. Yeah, that's what he needs. Like, he needs something to like just kick him up the arse. Nuck says, Mahler, I've said for years, George finished the books and they won't release until his death. They are completely different from the show and doesn't want HBO to cancel all his new shows. There's no fucking way he's finished this series. No way.
Yeah, that's not something I believe. I mean, I guess we could be proven wrong if he just drops them tomorrow, but I don't buy it at all.
No. I love his blog where it's just like, I haven't done any more. Stop bothering me.
Yeah.
Just let me go to all those premieres, okay? Aruki Fire says, Drinker, asked Gore about a lovely movie called Six String Samurai. He gave it 5 stars. Says Chris in the trailer, but pretty sure Frank is the one that gave it the rating. I recommend you guys watch the trailer. Bowling Pin Knives, check it out. He's been talking to me about this on DM, actually, on Twitter. So, yeah, he definitely recommends it. Slack Attack says, I feel the same about Beetlejuice sequel as I do about the Wednesday show. The titular character is the best part in a mid-outing. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Jason B, can George just hand the keys to A Song of Ice and Fire to a capable writer like Sanderson so us fans who have waited decades can finally get an actual satisfactory ending? Everyone knows he isn't finishing it. Yeah, exactly. I think at this point, it's the only sensible option, but it seems like he won't do it. I don't know
if he dies, it will have to pass someone else, right? You'll have set that up.
Not necessarily. He might have it in his will that no one else is allowed to touch it.
I doubt you would do that, but maybe. I can't say for sure.
I think probably he would have planned for this. I think he would have had, if nothing else, his publishing house would have got in touch and said, look, George, let's be real here. You're probably not going to be the one to finish A Song of Ice and Fire. Let's talk about Succession here. I think that'll be part of their conversation. So there's probably someone lined up. David Gannon. Bill Murray is simply a jerk. I mean, that's a strong opening. You think it's just part of his comedic shtick, but the more you see him behind the scenes, the more you realize it's just who he is. I can believe that. From what I've read about him, almost everyone that he's worked with has fallen out with him to some extent. And I think he is just kind of an asshole behind the scenes with a lot of people.
Seems that way.
Carmagin says, anyone remember Multiplicity with Michael Keaton? Great fun. I don't, unfortunately. David Gannon. The heck with Davis or Baldwin. Where was that paragon of Hollywood, Jeffrey Jones? Well, yeah. Funny how he was absent from this one. He's been a bad boy in real life. Mega Spidey Man. With James Earl Jones' recent death, I wanted to ask, what are your favorite Darth Vader lines and conversations, and why? The ones with him and Luke may be mine. So, yeah, I mean, for sure. Like obviously the one where he gets unmasked at the end and he has his final conversation with Luke before passing away. That's pretty poignant stuff. Yeah. I like that. Don't know if you've got anything else more.
I'm kind of thinking through them, which there isn't lines from Vader that don't hit super hard. I don't know what they were doing. They were cooking with all of the things they ever needed to with everything he was doing in the OT. Every time he's on screen, no matter how old I am, whenever he's on screen, I'm like, well, this is going to be a great scene.
Yeah. I think that final duel with Luke in Return of the Jedi is just so interesting because the way Vader's trying to constantly provoke him. He's trying to provoke his rage, trying to provoke his anger, and get him like fired up so that he can accomplish his ultimate goal, which is to get killed by Luke.
Yeah, there is no scene you can't do this with, but one that's just come to mind. Such a small little delivery, but in their duel in Bespin, where he's got Luke down, they've done it over and over again. It's gone on for a little longer than probably Vader would ever have wanted, and he says, "You are beaten," and it always come across to me as like Vader's kind of getting a little desperate here. He's like, "You can't beat me. Stop trying. It's kind of annoying."
Yeah, it's like I'm old and I'm getting tired.
Yeah, like legit. There is a small chance you could do something to me, so stop it, because I'm gonna have to fucking do something to you if you carry on. And I don't. And I get a sense from the way he says that like I don't want you thinking you could beat me. Okay, rule that out and then make your decision, which is to join me, because you should, idiot.
Yeah,
stop thinking you can take me down. You can't.
I would love to see an alternate timeline where Luke actually accepted his offer, joined forces with him, and they killed the Emperor together. And then, where does the story go there?
Remember in Revenge of the Sith, where he just starts rambling on to Padme's like, I can overthrow the Emperor. Like Vader and Padme rule the galaxy.
Texas Krav Maga says, thanks for repping us on Piers Morgan. Did I have the shirt on then? Cool. Yeah, you guys gave me one of your t-shirts and it's actually really comfortable. I like wearing it. So there you go. I must have worn it for Piers Morgan. Warwick Dwarmer says, Chris, ghosts do not age. Well, not that you know anyway. Ed Song says, but Mauler, there are starving Captain Kirks in Africa. I know. Why are we talking about anything? Karma Jin says, 1 hour of frowning is the best of the Rings of Power episodes. You guys convinced me. I'm not going to watch it. I mean, yeah, like it's slim pickings. What can I say? Julius Cominius says, did you guys review Greedy People? I liked it. I felt like a bit like some of the older Coen Brothers films for me. Maybe up Gore's alley. I've never touched Greedy People. No, I've never reviewed it.
No, same.
So, Larry Escher, I suffered through the Slayer's audiobook. The new Slayer was black but not mentioned much. However, she was instantly the best at everything on her first day as a Slayer. Most main characters were women. Imagine my shock. I think you've not listened to the audiobook there.
No, for what now, sorry?
Buffy.
Huh. I just, it's hard to explain like how much I don't want any more Buffy content from. The story is so complete to me. I don't want anyone adding to it at all. Not even Joss Whedon. I'm just like, leave it alone. So the idea that's like, well, some of them have come back. They've got there's things that happen in it that I've heard broadly that is hard to explain. But just for example, it would be like, you know, they're doing another Lord of the Rings. Gimli's actually going to be carrying the ring for the first half of Fellowship. You're like, what? No. Yeah, someone could be like, well, you don't know. It's like, no, I'm just not. No, I don't want to. Leave me alone. I'm out. Just leave me alone.
Karmajin says 7 and 9 works. For example, 7 of 9, Star Trek Voyager. Also, A 3x3 Jeep missing a wheel, and 7 is a prime number for the Amazon Prime. Well, there you go. That explains everything then. Larry Escher. I wasn't a fan of Arcane Season 1. The trailer for Season 2 seems to be an all-diverse girl boss. I only saw one male who spoke during the entire trailer. Mauler, do you want to field this one?
Kill me. So let's go with fuck me. The hype for Season 2 is through the roof for me. Something I love about the trailer, and apparently they're now getting punished for it, which sucks. They have hidden Victor, Jace, and Mel from us.
Right.
The big reason for that, obviously, is because something happens, spoiler free, at the end of Season 1, and they do not want to confirm what story we're dealing with. Now, which of those three is potentially in a good state or not will change your mind already and start giving you expectations about the scene that ended Season 1. And so I really appreciate that they've kept that as under wraps as they probably can, because Victor is probably going to have a huge story in Season 2. Mel's fate is going to decide a shit ton for an entire faction. And then Jace, he's, as far as we can tell, the most powerful person in Piltover at this point. So these are all incredibly important things. They could be used to hype everyone up for the season, and they've chosen to not reveal anything yet, so that the first scene of Season 2 can be enjoyed without any spoilers for everyone. We don't know what happened to those three characters, so we get to watch it. There are other people that they show a lot of Vi, but they show so much of her that it's really hard to pin down exactly what his story is going to be or what exactly is happening. We see different eras, different clothing, different hairstyles. Like it's such a good choice for trying to tangle up any expectations you may or may not have. I think they're desperately trying to trick us. I think they know how to make trailers. They know how much they matter. Like, as far as I'm concerned, a good trailer should probably be a part of the storytelling in a sense. If the person's aware, they can direct you in particular ways and help surprise you. Is what I like about good trailers. We're obviously in an era where trailers have gotten really bad because they try and show you the whole fucking movie all at once. Heimerdinger and Echo also not in the trailer that much at all. So I guess what I'm saying is that Arcane has a shit ton of strong, powerful, intelligent, and meaningful male characters. Silco and Vander are two of the most meaningful of Season 1. I just, the idea that it's like, oh, it's just girl bosses, like, what the fuck, man? Like, all the work they do just gets completely ignored. Well.
I think that covers it pretty effectively there. Tolkstein says, cheers, drinker and panel. I do very much enjoy your discussions and jokes every week. Thank you. We try our best to entertain. Do you have any insights on why there are so many producers on many shows or movies? What are they actually doing? Most of the time, they're not doing anything, but like having the right producer attached to your project can get a lot of attention, which means getting a lot of funding, and then basically opens a lot of doors. So yeah, a lot of the time producers don't do anything on the productions. Just having them there allows you to make more out of it, I suppose. So that's probably why there's so many. Gatekeeper says, hail chat, hail panel. Love your content. May your channel stay protected. Thank you. Wish you guys all much success. Shout out Gary, Alan, Nee, Gooch, Platoon. Blessings to the Epic Angel. Also, please subscribe to the Angry Badger. See ya. Have done already. Thank you, man. Irish John says, if people think The Acolyte was cancelled due to queerness, then how come Arcane gets what The Acolyte never will, a Season 2? I know, it's almost like it's got better writing, eh?
Gary has seen 6 episodes now, by the way.
Oh, he's getting there.
Is he almost complete?
Is he getting converted? Is he liking it?
Oh, a lot. His favorite characters are Silco and Victor.
I'm glad we finally got him onto it. It took him like 2 years, but we finally got him to like it.
It's very clear he's like unsure, but he's like, this might be the best animation he's seen. And I was like, it is pretty fucking good. Like this is some top tier shit for its style. He's very engaged with it. I think he quite loves the world, like the steampunk fantasy combined with.
Yeah, it's hard not to like it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just so much enjoyable fiction. It's just like easy to get immersed in. And then the one thing he was obviously struck by, which is just normally, is just like there's so much story constantly happening. Every scene pushes everything forward. There's no wasted time, which in contrast, and it's not a compliment to Arcane to say it's way better than like an Ahsoka, but Ahsoka is just the one I always think about with just padded nonsense TV where nothing happens.
Yeah.
Arcane, each scene is you get like each episode will have something happen in it. You're like, oh fuck, how's that going to affect this, and that's going to push that there, and that's going to do that, and you're like, mm-hmm.
I like that descriptor as well. It's like Ahsoka. It's padded nonsense TV.
Yeah, and season 2, I'm sure will be so much better. But season 2 of Arcane, fuck me, if it's as good as season 1, that show's going to get huge.
Yep. Larry says, I'm going to see Blazing Saddles in the theater on Sunday. Can't wait to see how the 2024 crowd reacts to the 1974 Richard Pryor written humor. Yeah, like I imagine most of the people going to see it know exactly what it is and where it came from and stuff, so you'll be fine. But yeah, we don't get movies like that anymore. Ed Song says Galadriel would fit right into the film. She's the man. She doesn't even need to pretend. Yeah, she's just great. Intent Matters. What's your favorite opening theme song to a TV show? Mine is Black Sails. P.S. Watch Black Sails. I always, oh man, Peacemaker, right? Like the show was fun enough, but like there was something weirdly addictive about that intro song. You know what I mean? Like I almost always skip the intro, or just to get to the show itself. But with that, I always find compelled to watch it.
I'm trying to think of like, there's a lot of shows I don't skip the intro for. I think it's just much more weighted in favor of shows I like. Like, Game of Thrones is one of the most longest fucking intros ever. But I don't know, the peak of my interest in it, I was happy to let it play every time.
Yeah. Star Trek: The Next Generation, that had a great intro as well, especially like from season 3 onwards. I think they revamped it a little bit, and it was just like perfectly captured the tone of the show. It was nice. A rapidly deflating air mattress says 1.8 million viewers, Shogun season 1 premiere. 1.3 million, House of the Dragon season 2 premiere. 1.2 million, Ahsoka season 1 premiere. How about fellow Prime shows? 1.5 million, Fallout season 1 premiere. 1.5, Jack Ryan season 3 premiere. 1.3, Reacher and the season 2 premiere of Rings of Power. 902,000. That is pretty terrifying. It's by far the most expensive show out of all of them. Gory-Eyed Beast says, I'm surprised none of you said everything after the 12th Doctor for potential things to wipe out. I miss enjoying Doctor Who. I might even go take it one step further, because like wipe out the 12th Doctor as well. Much as I like Peter Capaldi, like his run towards the end was fucking dire.
I think people don't want to get rid of him because the highlights are like really good, right? The best of his stuff is really good. It's just lots of bad stuff.
Yeah. David Gannon, regarding orcs not wanting to fight, we had that in the 78 backsheet cartoon in Where There's a Whip. We don't want to go to war today, but the Lord of the Lash says, nay, nay, nay. I mean, I don't know how much stock to put in that, really, but okay. Jailer Krend, when we were 6, my brother and I watched Three Musketeers. He told me when it was all over, all the Musketeers got up and said, we are fine. Hollywood are 6-year-olds who don't understand death and stakes. Drink up. That is true, yeah. We got much more hardcore stuff back in the day. David Ashraf says, Drinker, do you plan on reviewing House of the Dragon Season 2? I don't know at this point. Like, I don't know if it's worth it, because I feel like the show's come and gone, and I don't know if I can add much to the discourse on it. So, yeah, I'm a little bit divided on that one. Snex says, thoughts on the Castlevania Netflix series? I haven't seen it. Some people have said it's quite good. Others, not so much. I'll reserve judgment, I suppose.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
I was never massively into the Castlevania games, so I feel like I'm not too familiar with the source material. Jeremy Soden, in Tolkien, Tar Palantir, Muriel's father, was a throwback. The previous kings had been anti-Valinor. Pharazôn was usurping, but most of the nobility were like-minded. The faithful were a minority. Okay. Aaron Charman, instead of the One Ring, Sauron should split his malice, cruelty, and desire for power between objects like Tom Riddle's diary, Gaunt's ring, Hufflepuff's cup, Ravenclaw's diadem, Slytherin's locket, Nagini, and Harry Potter. I do like the idea of like the idea that his soul or his spirit and all of his different aspects of his personality are so powerful they can't be contained within one thing, and you could put them into different objects. That's kind of a cool idea, but like I guess for expediency's sake, yeah, the One Ring serves that purpose.
Yeah.
Don Max says, "What's your favorite beer?" And have however much this buys of one on me. So that's $5. So that'll get me about half a beer in Edinburgh. But yeah, probably Innocent Gun Lager. That's some good stuff right there. Probably my favorite. Failing that, San Miguel's pretty good, and Moretti is also fine. Nicholas Reiser says he found Sneem. Yes, he did. Shaker Silver, your description of Rings of Power Galadriel in the War of the Last Alliance sounds like Poochie. Galadriel left to go to her home planet. Yeah, that's fine. No guard. My friend and I described Amazon's first video game as composed of all the elements required to be considered a video game. Rings of Power music is the same. Yeah. Completely forgettable. Hasselhappa. Wheel of Time had the same problem. Insular communities filled with diverse casting ruined the verisimilitude. Yeah, it just keeps happening, but they keep doing it. Robert Wolf. What kind of world is this where James Earl Jones passes away, but George Takei is still going? I know. He is kind of weird these days. Be Unstoppable for Life says, do you think the pendulum will ever swing back to the norm of decades ago? Probably not, but it will get to something approaching normality, I think, eventually.
We'll just end up somewhere different again. Not sure what it's going to look like, but it won't be this forever. Yeah.
Simon Ho says, Damon didn't do Legacy because no Paul Greengrass. SWA says, 90 million? No mask for Doom? I guess not. ZG, this has nothing to do with anything, but I just saw Red Dawn remake, and it's potentially the worst movie that I've ever seen, and Josh Peck is potentially the worst actor to ever exist. That's all. I mean, that's all you had to say, really. The original Red Dawn was great fun. RPC says, drinkers coming to Grand Rapids, Michigan? That's where I live. Well, there you go. Maybe you can come see me then. Kevin O'Neill says, you're going to be in Boston, you say? How would a humble supporter bring you some world-class beer courtesy of Treehouse Brewery? I mean, I'm just passing through because like I'm going to be in Boston for a couple of days and then I'm going to tour around New England and then head back there to fly home. So, but yeah, thank you for the offer, my friend. Rated M says, drinker, any meetups in Austin potentially? Not anything planned at the moment right now, no. Yeah, like I said, the next one is going to be Grand Rapids. Charles Wilson says, hey, drinker and panel, who's your favorite Rings of Power character? Probably Elendil. Just on the basis that the actor is quite good.
Yeah, I find him very, I find I'm always disappointed because he's always so weak and ineffectual. I'm trying to think of like who's a character. There's so many criticisms for literally every one of them. I don't know which, because I get the question. It's like which one am I least?
Yeah, exactly.
To see on screen.
Is Farazon maybe worth considering?
Maybe I don't know. I'm partial to during the fourth, but only because I've got no other options.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that. And the last one here is JP, who says, would Beetlejuice be better as a series? No, not really. I think it was fine as a movie. It was mediocre. Yeah. So that was the last of them. That was the last super chat.
Well,
we made it. Well, thank you guys for tuning in for this, and glad we can answer your questions. Keep them coming, and the next time we catch up with you will be on Open Bar 112.
112. Look, we're already close to 500.
Yeah, just getting closer every week, you know.
Close to 1,000.
Yeah. Open Bar forever. A millennium of Open Bar, in fact.
Yeah, what they don't know is we're recording them every day non-stop so that they will be released well after we're dead.
Yeah. It'll just be infinite. But anyway, thank you for tuning in tonight, and that's all we've got for today. So go away now.
Bye.